Hello, welcome to this week's Internet Down. I'm your host, Matt, like always, and I'm joined by my lovely cast.
Yeah, I'm Gianni.
And I'm Mark, and you're driving an F-150. Listen to this.
I didn't
And
see
you're
that
driving.
yet.
Yeah, you will
Stick
have
around to
context
the
for that.
if you don't ever stick around to the end of the episode to see the random bits we throw in for before we're recording, please do.
Let me
Please
hide my
do.
sriracha mayo. Hold on, sorry.
Even
Please
if
do.
you're getting bored with the video and you want to click away, just watch those last 15 minutes. They're
I'm
always
not gonna lie. Sometimes I do. I'll just like watch the last 15 minutes of it. Just remember, oh yeah, that's the best part of the podcast is the last 15
Yeah,
minutes.
it's like the little sweet treat ending.
It's
like,
what
you know,
it's what we
the
do
dessert.
before the show starts and then gets shown at the end. It's our Marvel movie credit.
Yeah,
It's like, you remember when you were a kid and you had to finish and you had to eat your vegetables for dinner? And then you were like, yes, I get to eat ice cream because I sat through the vegetables. It's the same thing.
It is.
yeah. This is your ice cream.
This is your vegetables, and the ending is your ice cream.
The vegetables
so-
are your ice cream. What?
I don't know. That's what Mark said.
What?
He was trying to talk about podcasts and some F-150s. Today, so there's a not too long ago to date the podcast, like I always do. On I cannot talk today. On September 13th, I'm having trouble.
It's
a
yesterday.
hard time right
Matt,
now.
you can say yesterday.
On September 13th, yesterday, there was the Nintendo Direct, and they announced a few things that I'm very excited for. Little hint.
They did do that, but from the consensus I've seen so far is that this has definitely been the most meh of the Nintendo Directs for a little bit. I will say there's a handful of things that I was really excited for, and then there's like a bunch of other stuff that was also announced. That's like cool.
If you're a fan of like if you're a fan of the N64 stuff, the stuff they announced for that's pretty cool.
Wait, what? N64 stuff? What do you mean?
I
missed the whole Nintendo Direct.
Okay,
So talk to me as if
we
I'm
can,
the guy
so we
that
can
doesn't-
start from the top, and I've
Yeah.
got it pulled up here. So they announced the new Fire Emblem installment. I feels like every Nintendo Direct starts with a Fire Emblem announcement, and I think it's because that's such a big.
It's a huge IP.
Yeah, it's such. I think,
Yeah.
and I think it's less so in like North America and stuff. Like I think it's a much bigger thing over in Japan and those countries. So it's like a big thing. They always start off with that, but then the thing that wraps up is always a huge title. The other and I don't know about you guys. I like the Fire Emblem series. I just don't play every installment of the games.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of those games that, like me and Matt were talking about this earlier. Like, I'm not a fan of those games that it's like every single game mixed into one. I have to do my homework, but then also fight crime at night. Like, I play games as an escape. I don't want to do homework and make friends while I'm playing my video games.
Yeah,
So-
I'm sorry.
that's not
I just wanna
particularly
fight
what
demons.
Fire Emblem is.
I'm a Fire Emblem fan. I really enjoy the series. I played every one. I'm not a huge Fire Emblem fan. I just play. It's kind of like the Pokemon effect for me. Where it's like they were there, and I'm like, oh, cool. One of the new games played, and I haven't finished like 3 of them, but yeah.
Fire Emblem has the same effect, I think, as Pokemon, where sometimes I'm more excited for the spin-off than I am for the actual first.
Oh yeah,
Fire
The
Emblem.
Warriors games are amazing.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's what it
Warriors
is.
was great.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
I fucking love Fire Emblem Warriors. I fight like all fucking day. Dynasty Warriors clones or skins.
Their new one is pretty solid too. The
Three Houses.
Three Hopes. That one's really good. It's
Oh, Three
that one's based off Three Houses. That takes place between. So, in Three Houses, it was like a time skip,
Mhm.
and that takes place is in between the time skip.
Okay. It seems like this one they're pulling. I don't know what the story is going to be, but there's like, from what I understood from like watching it, it seems like there's a bunch of characters from various timelines of the Fire Emblem series.
Yeah, they're pulling older games and older characters from various timelines,
Which is
into-
cool. Which is fine.
Yeah.
If true hardcore fans of the series are happy, I have nothing to complain about. I really don't.
I think it's their way to get new. I think it's what this title, like what screamed out to me for this Fire Emblem title. It is their way to get people, because it plays more like the older school Fire Emblems and does not look like it plays much like the Three Houses Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm. That's what I
and-
got. It reminded me of the GBA games.
It remind me of the older ones, which I'm totally down for. But what I'm thinking is it's like it's bringing older fans in while also including the Super Smash fans that know Marth and know all these characters,
Yeah.
and now they're kind of combining it, so they're trying to make it more new people friendly
I
by
love that you
bringing in
came up with
faces
one
from Smash
example
Bros.
when a fourth of the roster of Smash feels like Fire Emblem characters.
I
There's
know, but, like,
Marth and
he
Marth.
was like Marth was like the main guy in this entire trailer. Like it was
Yeah, he
Marth
really was.
5 times. Like I just kept saying, oh, there's Marth. Oh, there's
Yeah,
Marth.
to be fair, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody from there until I played Smash. So
I think that was a lot of people's exposure to Fire Emblem here. And I hear same thing with Earthbound. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people have no idea where like Ness and Lucas are from and don't know about the Mother series or anything like that. But they know Ness and Lucas are in Smash.
Well, also the Mother series wasn't available in the United
It
States.
wasn't.
not
so,
Mother 2. Or
No,
Mother
Mother 2
2.
was. Mother 2 was. So what happened was Mother 2 came out as Earthbound. Came out here as Earthbound. That's the one we all know as Earthbound. That's Ness. Then Mother 1 got packaged here as Earthbound Beginnings. Mother 3 never got an English
That's
translation
what it was.
outside
Mother
of the fan dubs. The only English translation of Mother 3 is a fan translation. And that's the one that came out of the Starman.net days and stuff like that, and all of that community, which I love, and those forums. And people, I believe a bunch of the people from the Starman.net went on to work at Fangamer too, which is very interesting.
Like, I can see with them bringing back that series. I can see them bringing back that series in the vein of like Live a Live, like or Live a Live. Live a Live was a old JRPG that never released in the States.
Yeah,
and it was a really good one. And then it recently got released on Switch.
Nintendo's definitely the weirdest when it comes to releases coming out here, because I can think about even like the Fortune Street games. We only ever got like the 9th or 10th one here.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of things like that, especially on there. Earthbound, I'm a huge fan of, and I would love to see them do more with that series. But Earthbound didn't get re-released here until the Wii U. So that's the gap in which it was like we saw nothing out of the Mother series here. But yeah,
I'm gonna keep it a hundo P. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Do you want to segue into the next topic? Here's a penny I found from 1923. It's 100 years old.
That's not a part of the time.
Yeah, I know. That's why
I'm
it's a
interested,
different. That's
though.
why it's a thing. It's
All right,
100 years old.
That is very interesting. Also, like that hashtag set a plug for your green screen.
The
project that you're slowly doing, which I think is super cool.
It's
so
halfway done now.
Another games that got
Last
announced.
time it was only a quarter.
We can go through. We'll go through the mini releases stuff, because I think there is some stuff for you that me and you were interested in, Matt. Real quick, It Takes Two is coming to Switch. It doesn't look fantastic. Like physically, does not look as good as the game normally does, but it's the Switch port. And vice versa, Resident Evil's 7, 2 remake and 3 remake all are coming to the consoles too, but they're cloud games, so they look exactly like how they normally look.
Yes. Here's the problem: they're cloud games, so you gotta play them.
Yeah,
on the internet, right?
On Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So what's the problem?
What's problem here, because I'm usually home when I play my Switch, but sometimes I do go out and I'll go somewhere that doesn't have Wi-Fi. But I am very excited for it. As you guys know, with me and Johnny for very different reasons. We talked to this many times. We are a fan of the Resident Evil series. We love the Resident Evil series. I love it to death. So I'm very excited to see them bring also 8's on there as well.
Is 8 on there? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm curious to see how this will do, because the Switch itself is a portable console, and a lot of the reasons I play the Switch, and Jake just bought a Switch too, so like people are still buying Switches and doing things with them, but they're having to be connected to the internet with this. But at the same time, that's probably the only way you could get those games to run on the Switch. So
100%.
It's a mixed bag of all of it,
I'm sure it'd be fine too. I'm sure it's gonna run fine, because like that's the concept to get the Xbox thing.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
streaming games is becoming more and more of a thing. I tried it in its early days with the PlayStation and how they were doing it, and it was unplayable. uh,
so for example, there is a hang on. Keep talking to. I'm trying to list that.
my experience with streaming games wasn't fantastic because it was like one of the first iterations of the PS Now or whatever their thing is, and it kind of burned me on a lot of it. So I haven't tried a lot of like streaming games and stuff. I know Google Stadia did not do well particularly, and like had a lot of problems with games rolling out and all that kind of stuff, and
So it's Resident Evil. Sorry to cut you off. It's Resident Evil 7, Village 2, and 3.
7 Village 2 and 3. Okay, so 2 and 3 remakes as well. I'm
By the way,
you
I'm
know what?
excited.
Once again, like I'm just glad people that don't have a PC, don't have Xbox or anything, will get to play the games. You know.
I mean,
So
yeah, it's cool, but like, why? Like, it doesn't. I don't. Let's be honest. Like, are you really gonna go out like of your house without to anywhere with no
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi? That's what.
That is true.
Yeah.
The thing that came to mind with me
Often?
was specifically with me was hotels and when I'm traveling and stuff, and thinking like hotels don't always have the safest Wi-Fi's or the fastest speeds or anything like that. But even then, I have hotspots and stuff through my phone that are generally more reliable.
My
I feel
thoughts
like
too. It's like, but I'm not going to go to a hotel and I'm going to play Resident Evil 7. I might, like,
Yeah.
I love Resident
Well,
Evil.
it's just one of those things where it's like, man, I want to play a game, but
Yeah.
also I'm traveling, so
The other reason why I
Switch
brought
just
this
comes in
out
this.
is that recently I hadn't have a Switch for a little while and I got one back. It was a gift. And I love the OLED so much.
Is
So
the
I'm
OLED
very
good?
excited to see what's up.
I was curious about how the OLED was doing.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's really it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's in my opinion, if you haven't got a Switch yet, do not pay $300 for it. Pay the extra $50. I promise you it's
Get
worth
the
it.
OLED. See, that was the
Get
thing
the
because
OLED.
when there were so many rumors about the Switch OLED, and it was like, or the Switch Pro or Switch Plus or whatever it was.
Pro
Yeah.
that was supposed to really.
And then they announced the OLED, and everyone was just like, okay.
Well,
That's the thing.
By the
Yeah,
way, the
same.
OLED wasn't the system they were talking about and been leaking because the Switch Pro is still in works. Like that's not the Switch Pro. The OLED was a in between, meant to be an in between. It's still a Switch. It's the same exact system.
Mhm.
It's the same processor. It just has slightly more memory, but it has the OLED screen. In my opinion, the OLED screen's amazing. I've been playing Stardew Valley, which is not the best example.
Yeah. Matt.
Hang on. There we go.
There you
My XLR cable is going, so every time I touch it, it goes out.
Oh.
So that's not the best example for an OLED screen, but like my God, does it look amazing on it? Like
Okay.
it, all the games I play.
And
now,
for
there's
50, I
certain
didn't
games-
realize it was a $50 difference. For a $50 done.
God, no,
Yeah,
it's
same.
only a $50
It's-
difference.
it-
It's not.
That's,
It's not
that's the thing.
$100.
When is so is it still a rumor or is the Pro supposed to be coming out? Because
No,
No,
still a rumor.
that's not
the Pro rumor was what it became the OLED.
No,
okay.
they're still talking about it.
Are
They're still
they?
talking about
Oh, really?
making it. Yeah.
There, I will say in the same vein as Stardew, there was a lot of farming sim games that were announced in this. A lot of
Yeah.
Stardew adjacent style games, which you know what, cool. I love Animal Crossing. I think the Switch is the perfect platform for those, because you can just kind of go anywhere with them.
Harvest Stellar.
Yes, Harvest Cell, which is I think one of these was basically because Harvest Moon games aren't called Harvest Moon games anymore
No,
because of like
they're-
I guess a copyright thing or some other thing.
No, what happened was, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
again.
go ahead. I know I'm curious.
What happened
This
was,
fucking guy.
the original team that made the original Harvest Moon, they split off to a separate company. No, the Harvest Moon still exists. It's just not the same team. It also plays differently. The new Harvest Moons are more like a Stardew Valley almost, where they're 2D. And then there's the Story of Seasons, which is what we saw. Story of Seasons is the original, most of them at least. A lot of the people left and went on other projects, but most of the original team from the original people that made the Harvest Moon. So a lot of the Harvest Moon fans, the people who are obsessed with Harvest Moon, they only play Story of Seasons because that's the team. You know, they also play like the Harvest Moon games versus the new ones play completely different.
Okay.
So you're just
Not completely different, but they don't. It's a different access basically.
so what? Okay. You're just farming. You're just like what the fuck is the difference? What the fuck is the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference?
You're farming. It's
Yeah,
great.
that is true. Some people, myself included, it's just relaxing and it's cool.
No, I understand
No,
the appeal.
To Mark's point, it's like it's the same thing. No, some people prefer the gameplay of the original of the start of Harvest Moon, and if you want the gameplay of Harvest Moon, like the original Harvest Moons, then you're gonna want to go with Story of Seasons. If you're okay with a different switch to it, and again, the Harvest Moon games are not bad. Like new ones are not bad. They're farming games. You know,
Yeah.
I love Stardew Valley. I love it so much, and I play the Harvest Moon games because they're 2D flat down.
It's amazing
Like it's fun.
how much Stardew shook up the farming sim. Like basically, it changed the bar for every farming sim game that came before
weird?
and after.
You know, so it doesn't do anything different.
Yeah, it just does everything right. Like
It just does everything right. It
Yeah.
doesn't do anything different. Yeah.
which sometimes that's really all you need. You know what you are and you did it right.
I have a bone to pick with you, sir.
Me?
You got me addicted to the fishing in Stardew Valley.
I hate the fishing in Stardew. It's my
Well,
least
I don't know
favorite
if you
part of the
remember,
game.
we had a stream. We had a Stardew stream. Me and you. Me,
Yeah.
you and Matt, yeah. And me and you would fish all the time.
Yeah, it was because I hated
And I got
it. It was
addicted to the
good
fishing in
content.
Stardew Valley because of that.
I rarely fish in that game because of how it's for how peaceful a game it is. It's so infuriating.
I hate the farming aspect of it on the Switch though.
Really, I love
Not
it.
fun, yeah. No, on PC it's fun. On Switch it's kind of difficult because it's like
What's
you
the
gotta
difference?
because it's the axis. You gotta move around instead of doing with a mouse. You can kind of click and have better roam. You have a.
Have you tried? Are you using the stick or are you using the D-pad?
I'm using the stick.
Use the D-pad. It works better.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna try the D-pad because I have a lot of times where I'm a character. I'm trying to like water. My character will water like the same spot twice. I'm like, you fucking stupid son of a bitch.
I do have that. I will say that does happen.
Yeah.
Matt, we were talking about there was some more news updates to some games, Mario's and Rabbids, or that might be a new. I don't know.
Mario and Rabbids?
Yes,
There's a new Mario Rabbids coming out in
Oh god.
October.
they're actually pretty good.
You remember when Rabbids was trying to be like the minions are now?
Yeah,
You remember that?
that's
You remember
exactly what they were.
Yeah, you remember how they were trying to get to the same level as what the minions are at now?
I think they succeeded for a little bit in that.
You think so?
For a little bit, not as long. Basically,
Yeah, but they outdate the minions.
they do because
Of course.
they're a Rayman property.
Yeah.
I'm cool. Crossover games are awesome. The Splatoon updates, Mario Kart updates. The next really big thing that I think there are two things. There's the N64 thing, and then there's the game I was really excited that got announced. And I don't know.
Let's talk about your game because I'll talk about my game for a hot minute.
Pikmin 4 got announced. And I'm so excited because the Pikmin 3 is almost 10 years old at this point. And
Oh my god, is it really?
EA came out. I think it was a launch title for the Wii U.
Holy shit! Yeah.
If it
Yeah,
was, it was early. Yeah.
Crazy.
It was around there.
No, I know. I think it literally was a launch title.
I love the
remember
Pikmin
that.
games. They're feel like the underappreciated Nintendo properties. Not as much as like F-Zero or Metroid or any of those, but I genuinely find them.
I think Metroid's unappreciated.
Yeah, because
Yeah. When was the last time we got a fucking Metroid Prime game? Hello, can we get a remake? Hello.
Prime's a little different, but like they just Metroid Dread that released like not so long ago. was
Yeah,
just a
but I
fantastic fucking game.
about
I would
Dread.
put Metroid still in that same category of games, much like it's on the outskirts. I think I would probably put it on the same tier of like how they treat Star Fox.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh my god, when's the last time we got a Star Fox game? You know what? Fair enough.
The Wii U, the Wii U is when we got
the
it.
Wii U, the horrible one that was like the anyway.
Yeah. But I'm just excited to see more Pikmin, and I know they had an app game that they were trying to push that was like a Pokemon Go type thing. It was not as enjoyable, frankly, as just getting a Pikmin game.
How do you play the Pikmin games? Because all I see are like those fuckers with the fucking
Yeah,
the thing on their
so
head,
that's
and
like
the dude with the
those are the
ball.
Pikmin.
Yeah.
You have your onion, which is like this little thing that harbors
The guy?
that harbors
With the-
all of the Pikmin in them. And then you pull out different colors of Pikmin that all have different abilities, and then you have to. I'm going off the first one mainly. You have to go out and get past monsters and other things, and it's all in this kind of shrunken down space. You're very small. And then you have to go and get ship parts and bring them back to Olimar's ship.
Very puzzle.
This sounds
solving.
like you're high and a fever dream at the same time.
It's very puzzle solving. It's I mean, they're solid games.
I think I can get behind the puzzle part.
Yeah, they're very puzzly type games where like it's
Very.
just what kind do you need? You need to gather. There's some resource management involved of like getting the right kind of Pikmin and making sure they don't die. And making like going through the different tiers where they have a leaf on their head or a flower because that makes them stronger. I'm just excited to see.
Weird.
This has been a wholesome. I know there was a lot of good news here so far, but I'm pretty happy that the series is getting more love, and I implore everyone to go and check out one of the Pikmin games. I'm honestly shocked we haven't gotten a remake of the first one because it got ported, I think, to Wii because it was originally on GameTube, and
it get ported to the Wii.
I wouldn't be shocked if in the next year or two, depending on how 4 sells and stuff, if we got a remake of the original.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I think that'd be a decent thing. The other thing that wasn't the game Matt was excited for, and Mark, you asked about this, was the Nintendo 64 Online.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Let's
go through everything got announced, and then we'll go through the major title that got announced.
Yeah. So, and this, it's a slow trickle, man. N64 is getting nine new games, over the course of next year.
What do you mean 9 new games? How is the N64 getting new games?
Not new
games,
games.
new
9
games.
re-released.
Yeah, 9
on the
N64
On what?
on the Switch.
on N64 Online.
Yeah, you can play the N64 games on Switch.
Yeah.
You could do that?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been playing. Dude, you have no idea how much I've been playing Ocarina of Time. It's
Dog, I haven't had a Switch in like 5 years. I have no. All this is new to me.
Yeah, so they have basically like NES, Super NES, and Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis online. So you can play those older games. It's a part of their like Xbox Live style streaming service.
Also, Sonic 1 and 2 are still on the Switch. You can buy them separately.
Yes, you can.
And that still makes no sense to me because you can just play them on the...
Well, if you don't have online. But the games that got announced for it include all 3 of the original Mario parties. So Mario Parties 1, 2, and 3 are all coming to it. Excitebike 64, 1080 Extreme. I think is that Mega Man? I'm looking off a very small thumbnail. Is that Mega Man 64? Or no? What am I looking at?
Yeah, I think
there was a Mega Man 64.
There was actually.
Was there? No, it's something else. I can't see what that says. It's not Mega Man.
There was a Mega Man on the
I don't think that's what it is, though. I think it's one of the Pilot Wings or whatever that game is. I can't remember. I cannot see it. I'm looking off the thumbnail image. And then Pokemon Stadiums 1 and 2 are both coming. I'm curious about how, because one of the big things about
did you talk about the biggest title that's coming?
No, not yet. I'm curious about how Pokemon Stadium...
on the N64, I mean.
Yeah. No, I haven't said the big one yet.
Also,
I'm curious how Pokemon Stadium is going to handle the fact that you could... There was a function in the original Pokemon Stadium where you could plug your Game Boy cartridge into the back of the N64 controller and play Pokemon Red and Blue.
It's just not going to be a thing.
I really wish they would just add those 2 games to it.
Could you do that? I don't remember. You could.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know if you could play them.
There's a Rumble
pack
thing that you can add to the back of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you one screenshot of something that's gonna make you want to buy the N60, make you buy a Switch to play the N64 game.
Is it the big title release?
No.
Oh no, it's just this.
Majora's Mask.
That's pretty fucking lit.
It just got re-released not too long ago. So you can play Majora's Mask and
I just might.
What's it
I
called?
just might.
And there's Mario. There's a N64 Mario Kart. There is and there's a lot of titles on here. I haven't checked this in a little while. Then there's Mario Kart Banjo Kazooie, which is I don't know if you ever played it. Fantastic
Yeah,
game.
Banjo-Kazooie is fantastic.
I never got to play Banjo.
Is Diddy Kong Racing on there?
No, it's
No,
just Mario
I
Kart.
would.
Dude, if they add Diddy Kong Racing
But
and they don't
there's
put
Star
it,
Fox 64. There's Dr. Mario 64. But the biggest two titles for me is Zelda Majora's Mask and then Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Those are the games Matt loves the most. What were you saying, Mark?
All right, I gotta take a phone call. Can you guys?
Yeah,
I
we'll
was saying.
Do you want to just cut or?
No, you guys can keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to keep this going. We should just cut.
Talk about it.
I feel like it has been a slow trickle, with a lot of the games that come out on the NES, the SNES, and the N64 online stuff.
Dog, I didn't even know they had it. I'm
yeah, but it's. I think
I didn't even know.
Here's the thing, though. It's so much cheaper than like Xbox Live or anything like that. That I think it's worth it. I think it's $40 a year for all of it, for the highest tier that gives you access to everything, or something like that. Maybe $60.
$40 a year or $40 a month?
$40 a year.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, and for the lower tier that doesn't have the N64 or the Sega Genesis games, it's like $20 a year, and you still get the NES and the Super NES games. And like the Super NES had like one of the greatest libraries of games, and like also NES gives you access to like Ninja Gaiden and games like that, like games that are pretty stuck in my heart. Like I love the Ninja Gaiden games. I think also it's got of course, it's got like Mario All-Stars, so you can play all the original Mario Brothers games. Super Mario World is another big one. I think it's honestly is worth the money if that is like, especially if it's like your only console or anything. But if you're interested in playing those games, it's absolutely worth it. It also it's not like you have to download them all individually. You download this one software, and then you can just play them all. You can just click on them and play them.
Oh, so okay. I see what you're saying. It's like one of those Xbox things. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
It's like just a collection.
That pretty makes it worth, I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, like these are 9 games that will come out over the course of next year, And,
okay. These aren't out yet. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought they were out yet.
There's I don't know if we want to say the really, really big title that comes back up until Matt gets off his phone call, but I'll go ahead and say it just so we can talk about it. GoldenEye 007 is the final game that's coming to this game. It is coming into the Switch, and it is also coming to Xbox. So GoldenEye will be on both of the. Because I'm not sure, it might have been a Rare title, who I think is now owned by Xbox and everything. But no.
No, I said oh. So how did they get the rights for that?
It just seems like it was a joint between the two, since it's coming out on both consoles, that they were like, well, might as well put I'm not looking at any gift horses in the mouth on this one.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think the fucking love for GoldenEye is literally just nostalgia at this point. Like, I don't think there was anything great with the GoldenEye.
But it is adding online play, so you can.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's like the I don't know if you ever knew about it, but back, I don't know, like 2017, fucking no. They had a GoldenEye, not a remake, but it was like a fan online digital make.
Oh
thing.
yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
It was super big on YouTube at the time.
Yes. And I think it's because like you're saying, it is kind of a nostalgia trip thing. I think it's also the fact. I think part of that nostalgia is how much fun everyone had with the multiplayer in the game, and just the game itself is fine, but the multiplayer in it is insanely fun when you have a bunch of people, and it gave birth to so many the screen cheating and stuff like that. Like that was the game people always were referring to because that was where like the split screen really shined was that game. It was where people were huddling around the TV and really excited to play the game. So the fact that they're adding online play, because I think they knew how important it was for the multiplayer in that game, even if it's not in the same room anymore. It's not a couch co-op game. I'm assuming it will still have couch co-op capabilities for the people that.
Man, I doubt it. All these remakes that come in that had couch co-op a part of them don't do that.
Yeah,
don't have it alongside, which is really annoying.
Remake, it's just a straight port of the game with this online mode added. So I am curious which way they'll lean with that. Again, I think that one's coming out fairly. I think that was coming out fairly more recently than some of these other ones. There's
Sorry about
that. Oh, you back? Matt?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I was struggling to keep this going. Can we talk about the big release finally and the
Yes, we can.
You're such a liar. That's why I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Because he was like, oh, GoldenEye 007, that's the big one. And I was like, what the fuck is he what is he talking about?
No, that was the big one for the N64.
Yeah.
The big thing that happened, and the reason they did it, they didn't air the entire Nintendo Direct in Britain is because... Matt, do you want to say it or should I?
Because of the
Legend
Queen?
of Zelda.
What does that have to do with the Queen?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
This is the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, this is
Queen
the
died,
sequel
and then
to
the
Breath of the
Kingdom
Wild.
is in tears. Is that?
I have a few things I want to say about the name alone. I'm going to start off with that. So, number one, I don't know why
does this have to do with the. What does this have to do with?
Nintendo didn't air the Nintendo Direct in Britain. And I think they even pushed it a day or two because I think it was supposed to happen the day the Queen died.
Yeah. I didn't want to do Tears of a Kingdom.
Yeah, and it's called Tears of the Kingdom.
That's funny. That's funny. They should have done that for the memes.
But it looks good. It looks like a Breath of the Wild
amazing.
successor.
It looks like Breath of the Wild, but you can fly around and stuff. Now, my biggest issue with the name alone. Is the fact that they didn't name it something like Kingdom of the Wild or so the reason why I say that is because Breath of the Kingdom. The reason why I say that is because Nintendo, every time Nintendo has a sequel to a game, they always include a major part of the first game.
Yeah.
So the Four Swords sequel, Spirit Tracks, all that kind of stuff. They keep the concepts there. The problem, and the biggest example I love to always say is Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds, right? They still have the core naming mechanics. They are sequels to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they didn't do that with Breath of the Wild. They just named it a completely different game. And I know it sounds silly, but that bothered me because this is the only game they've done that with.
Yeah, I think they're going more in the direct because I get it because these games are most likely in the same Zelda timeline as each other.
It's the same Link, same Zelda.
No, it is. It's a direct sequel.
Yeah,
it's a direct sequel.
Yeah, and I think they're banking off the fact that we all know that this is essentially Breath of the Wild 2 to not have to worry about that too much.
No, it's not that they have to worry about it.
The game looks so freaking good. Like,
the game looks so good.
Here's what I have to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
When the Switch first came out, Breath of the Wild was a launch title, right?
Here's the thing: it came out on. It was supposed to be a game that came out on the Wii U. It got pushed so much. It was not only came out on Wii U, it was also a launch title.
I doubt that was the plan. I doubt the plan was to ever just put it on the Wii U.
No, I know the plan originally was to put it on the Wii U.
Well, because Breath of the Wild is the only Zelda title.
Because they did the same thing with
Wii U.
Twilight Princess. I remember they did the same thing.
They did exactly the same thing with Twilight Princess.
And then Twilight Princess was huge.
But GameCube had more Zelda games than just Twilight Princess. They saw
right.
Wind
Waker. One more.
Breath of the Wild.
GameCube, not economically, but like in sales wise, like we look at it with nostalgia because like it was ahead of its time. But at the time, the sales were atrocious.
Yeah.
So I think they banked on the fact that people would, with GameCubes, will buy Twilight Princess for that, and then
Which
anybody with a Wii would
amazes
buy
me.
it for that.
The GameCube was very unsuccessful, even though
was,
yeah.
it's considered one of the best.
Which
like,
amazes me because it has
Nintendo system.
one of the best catalogs of games.
Oh no, 100%, hands
Of
down,
retro,
hands down.
or I guess you could call it retro at this point.
It
retro
had a
consoles.
handle, guys.
The GameCube games.
It was the
are
first
amazing.
It had a
portable.
handle.
You could just
Um,
pick that up.
GameCube games were amazing. The GameCube games were all like they had an amazing category. It unfortunately released at the same time the PlayStation 2 and Xbox released, and that killed it.
Is the
That killed it.
PlayStation 2 still the highest selling game console of all time?
No,
I
I
think-
think that's the Wii.
I
Is
think
it?
PS5. Oh no, Wii.
Wii
Yeah,
now?
I think it's the Wii. I think the Wii is the hot. No, no shit.
There's a new one
no,
that chopped
there,
up.
no, it's the Nintendo 3DS.
Is it? I don't know.
That is.
I'll look it up.
Somebody look this up because for
What
a while
is
it was the
the-
PS2.
Because the reason why I say because I'm 90% sure the Wii beat out the PS2, and then I think because I know for a fact the 3DS is actually Nintendo's highest
Oh.
selling system.
The PlayStation 2.
Yep.
Oh, okay, there's some
That's what I
places
thought.
still high.
Nintendo DS 149.9 in millions. PlayStation 2 157.68. It was close.
Dude,
they were
I
close,
remember
they're
when I
close.
was in school on a school bus and PictoChat was all the rage. And
Yeah,
because people were just like writing things all together on the bus on like a field trip or something and sending them
So
across
I'm
the
gonna show
way.
my age a little bit. I was like one of the only very few kids that had the DS like
Mhm.
back when the first one launched.
Mhm.
So I never got to like experience that social aspect of it until the 3DS were launched. And then once the 3DS launched, like the XL, like I didn't get a 3DS until the XL. I was rocking the DS Lite for the longest time because it can play GameCube games, Game Boy games.
See, that's the one I had. That was the one I had because, and everyone else had the DSi, which had like the camera and stuff
Same.
on it.
Yeah.
And
I didn't.
had
I,
the
never got.
Lite.
I never had the DSi
Neither
because
did
I
I.
didn't want it because
I wanted to play
got
Game
rid
Boy
of the cartridge.
games.
Yeah, it's exactly why I kept mine. I'm like, I want the Game Boy games.
And not only
so
could
I-
it play Game Boy games, but you could have a DS
You-
game and a Game Boy game in at the same
At
time.
the
You
same
know what launched?
time.
What was one of the launch titles on the DS? And I
Uh,
remember this very vividly because I was at the Morristown Mall when I first got it. And I was so excited.
Was it as?
My mom let me buy it early. It was Mario 64.
Oh yeah, the remake.
Yeah, it was the remake, and you could play Yoshi, Wario, and all that stuff.
It's a good game.
God,
You mean Mario Kart DS?
Mario Kart.
It was
Studio.
Mario. Well, yeah. I
Wait,
played
that was a remake?
Mm-mm.
No.
Mario 64 had a remake on DS.
There was a Mario
Oh.
64 game on DS.
So there's
That was
two
the-
Mario Karts on the DS.
No, not Mario Kart, Mark. Mario 64.
Oh,
Mario.
oh.
Mario, the main.
I swear to God, I heard somebody say cart. I
Mario.
swear to God.
There was a Mario Kart on DS. It was amazing.
But
That's what I'm
back
talking
to
about.
back to Zelda.
No, it's
yeah, sorry. Back. To
We've
Zelda.
also got a
Go-
release date for the game.
We did.
that's not a real
April
release date. Fuck
12th, 2023.
I don't believe that.
Not April, May. Sorry, May
Alright.
12th, 2023.
I don't believe that.
Oh, I
do.
guarantee you it will get delayed. But the fact that
Yeah.
we,
Well, it's gonna get delayed. Well, it's gonna
But-
be 2023 at least.
it will be if it's that early in the year, I'm guaranteed it'll still at least be in 2023.
No, they're gonna shoot
All
for
right,
like
I'm
2024.
gonna make a call, dude. I cannot because I love the fact that we're timing this. Everybody's gonna be like, Matt called it. I'm gonna make a call out. This game's gonna release in July. This
July
game's
of
gonna release
2020?
July 15th, 2023.
No,
I promise it. No, I'm putting
Why?
my foot down because it's gonna get delayed, but it's only getting delayed like a month or two. It's only getting delayed 2 months
incorrect.
because Nintendo only ever delays it very shortly, and it's gonna release July 15th, 2023. I'm marking this. We're gonna pin this in the podcast.
They're
And
gonna
then-
shoot for like a
and then
winter release.
When it happens, Mark, I'm
Christmas
gonna
release.
pull this clip back up and I'm
Okay.
like, hey, Mark, I fucking showed you.
Boom.
They're gonna shoot for like a Christmas release or something. That's
No, I
what
don't
that's what
think
they're gonna
so.
go for.
No way. Because
I
if,
think-
they,
I
if they're
think
saying
Christmas-
it this early in the year, they're probably going for
Yeah,
a
I
summer
think-
release.
Yeah, they're going for a summer release. I think Christmas is gonna be like Metroid or like another major title, but it's not gonna be Zelda. I promise you that.
What is
I
their
think they wanna
Christmas
get
release
Zelda
for
as soon as
this
they can.
year?
I don't have one yet.
Pokemon.
Pokemon? Oh
Some
yeah,
Pokemon?
there is Pokemon.
The two new Pokemon games, yeah.
Yeah.
Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, that's their Christmas release.
Man, the internet, you guys need to calm down because the bisexual rage was all over the place when that new Pokemon game came out and they showed the two new professors.
Oh, dude,
What?
have you seen
What do
them?
you mean?
They're fucking hot,
Mark,
man.
you might want to look up a picture of them because
Hey,
the
yeah.
internet went apoplectic.
Mark. Also, can we talk about how hot everybody is in that game? Not only is your rival hot, the leader of like the antagonist group is fucking hot.
I'd
Matt,
give her some dick.
You're
The
part of the
professors are
problem.
hot.
You're also
Why is
horny.
everybody hot in this game? Why is this the only Pokemon game where people are like, well, it's like everybody's like, holy
I'd
shit,
give
you're
him
hot.
some dick.
Like, why, dude? Why?
Yeah.
Why is
I can
this
see
the only
that.
Pokemon game every person in the entire thing is hot?
I'm not
Why?
over here drooling, but I'd give him some wieners. You know, I give him my dick.
Have you seen the guy?
Yeah, he's cute too. I'd give him my wiener. Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it for the Nintendo Direct, though.
That's
But
pretty
here's
much
the
it
thing.
for Nintendo Direct. Before we move
So
on
I've been
to
trying
the
to
next topic.
say this, but
Say
I'm getting excited over the whatever the fuck we're talking about. When did the first Switch come out? 5 years ago? 6 years ago?
Switch was like 2017.
Yeah, probably.
Whatever the fuck that was. I bought a Switch specifically for that.
For Zelda?
It was on Amazon, yeah, for Zelda, for Breath of the Wild. Specifically for Zelda because I really wanted to play Breath of the Wild. And then I got I got a scalper one. I paid like $500 for it just to like get it sent that same day that it came out. And then I didn't eat for a week because I spent $500 on a console. Like genuinely, I think I starved. I starved for a little bit there for the console, but it was worth it. And then COVID happened, and then I had to sell my Switch.
This, by the way, sorry to interrupt. This is the enemy girl.
Oh, I'd give her some dick.
Right, dude, she's hot. Why
Yeah.
is everybody hot?
I'm not
Where's-
drooling
where's
over here,
your
but
rival?
I'd give her some dick, you know?
This is the fucking rival.
and then another one.
The fuck is
Mark
wrong?
just
Dude, everybody's hot in this game. It's her.
my computer
Everybody's
didn't,
hot.
my,
Everybody's hot.
I didn't
I'm sorry.
freeze. I didn't freeze. I lost train of thought, and then I was trying to get back on track.
Everybody's hot.
No, and now and then I had to sell my Switch for COVID. When this new one releases, I'm gonna do the same thing and buy a Switch specifically for this one.
No, I think it's gonna be worth it. I can tell. So, I like the sky mechanics they're doing.
Oh, that's the other
With
thing.
this-
It looks like they're calling back the Skyward Sword.
Oh,
I think they're using sky mechanics, but it doesn't seem like they're calling back Skyward Sword.
Here's where I'm gonna be right, and here's gonna be my call out thing, Matt.
we have a whole video of
yeah.
us arguing about this.
I think what's gonna happen is they're gonna replace the glider with your bird from Skyward Sword. Because the way Link was falling in that trailer, man, it looked exactly, and I mean exactly, like Skyward Sword.
Yeah, he did kind of have his hands
watch
out
Game
like
Theory?
he does in Skyward Sword.
Not often.
I do. I love Game
I've
Theory. I love
got
Game-
really
I
into
love
food
Game
theory lately. It's awesome.
now the reason why it's
Game-
the reason why I
Man.
brought up this non sequitur is because when Breath of the Wild came out, he had a theory about like because Nintendo has the timeline, but everybody knows that that's not accurate.
Yeah.
we all know that.
makes sense, Yeah.
So he was like, here's the definitive timeline, and here's what because Breath of the Wild came out. So he's like, here's the definitive timeline, and here's where Breath of the Wild goes in, and it's like Skyward Sword is like the first one or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty consistent across Zelda.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Skyward
so-
Sword is considered the first one in the series.
Yeah, so he goes down and he's like, this is the timeline, and Breath of the Wild is here, and then he was calling it back to Skyward Sword. Basically, Breath of the Wild, he was calling it back to
So,
Skyward Sword. He was saying like
Breath
it's like
of the
Skyward
Wild
Sword.
is like a weird. Breath of the Wild is like a weird thing because it calls back with every single Zelda.
Yeah, because it's like
but
an
it's
apocalypse almost of like
Yeah,
the
it's
Zelda
like
universe.
considered to be like the bridge between all three timelines, quote unquote.
And I think they're
but
going
it
to play
is the-
that up in this
It is
one.
the fallen hero timeline. It's considered in the I think they announced. I don't remember when they announced. So oh my god, I'm gonna be all right. Our poor other topics. Real
Yeah,
quick,
they're not
timeline-
happening.
Yeah, they're not happening. Zelda timeline is there's 3 timelines. There's the Fallen Hero timeline. God, I'm a huge Zelda nerd. There's the Fallen Hero timeline. There is the when Link is a child timeline, the child timeline, and the adult timeline. The child timeline is when Link goes back in time and fixes all the events before the events of Ocarina of Time happen. And then the other one is after when he goes back and like the after effects of the Ocarina of Time timeline, and like that's when the Great Sea happens. That's when
The DS ones.
yeah, some of the DS ones and fucking my favorite Zelda of all time, Wind Waker happens, stuff like that. Anyway,
You know what you
long story
remind me
short-
of, Matt?
what?
One of my favorite videos on
Mom.
the internet is of Proton John explaining the plot to Triforce Heroes, and then at some point in it, like where he's given all the lore, he's just like, apparently you're the link from A Link Between Worlds because Nintendo said so. And then it's like an article about how Nintendo's telling you it's like that's what it is.
Also, yeah, but like also like Link Between Worlds and Link to the Past also happened before Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dude,
no,
these games are a mess.
Link to the Past happens between Ocarina of Time, before Ocarina of Time, but Link Between Worlds happens after Ocarina of Time, so like that makes sense, right? Anyway, let's not get into that. That's a video I want to do an entire separate day because I can go on a rant about this whole time.
You guys know how Billiam did like has done multiple like 4-hour
You know
documentaries on he's done like multiple 4-hour documentaries on Lost.
You know what's so funny?
Matt's gonna
That's a friend of mine.
What? Is he?
That's a friend of mine. Yeah.
Really? Oh, I
Oh.
didn't know that.
Well, he was like a friend of a friend, and then we linked, and then I just think he's cool. I'm more of a fanboy than a friend of his, to be honest. Now at this point, but
All right.
But
Johnny-
Matt's gonna make that exact same video, the Lost video. But with
About the
Zelda.
Zelda
He's gonna wake
timeline.
up on a beach. He's gonna be laying there. He's gonna be wearing the Link outfit. He's gonna wake up in the cave at the beginning of Breath of the Wild. Just in his underwear.
Yeah, I was gonna say in my underwear. It's gonna be like the things like wash over me, and I'm in my underwear. All right,
gonna
so I
pick
guess
up an
we should maybe
iPhone.
talk about another podcast before we end this. I mean, another topic before we end this podcast.
I mean, we can, or we could just keep talking about Zelda.
I mean, I can go. Trust me. I, can go on
I mean,
Zelda.
we can do my thing, or we
Shut
can
the fuck
go.
up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
3 on
I watched
here?
the video. Shut the fuck up!
Okay.
I watched the video. I'm watching the video right now. I was watching the video this whole time. I don't know what the fucking conversation was about, but I watched the video. And what it is all 3 timelines happen, and then it gets connected with Hyrule Warriors, and then Breath of the Wild. So then Breath of the Wild 2 happens.
The internet is crazy, man. But thank you, Mark.
Mark,
I did it.
I do. So that's gonna be a topic for next week. Look out for that. We're gonna talk about the Zelda timeline.
I did it. I found it.
Matt's
He
gonna
did
go
it.
insane.
He did it. He did it.
Wait, I like this train of thought though, that because we're not getting to any of these other topics. I'm sorry,
No.
but Matt will do his 4-hour video essay on Zelda. Mark, what's your 4-hour video essay gonna be? What do you know enough about?
What I mean, I know it depends. I don't know. Does it have to be Nintendo?
No, it can be anything. One Piece.
I mean, it can be One Piece, I guess.
What do you want to talk about for 4 hours? I
don't know.
will produce these immediately.
This is like one of those conversations that you have in the middle of the night with your friends at like 3 a.m. It's like,
Yeah.
if you could make a video of 4-hour essay on
I know.
this
Oh,
topic,
dude,
what would it
I
be?
know I can make a video about Zelda timeline. I can make it right fucking.
Oh, this
been
might
way
sound
too
a
much of my
little
life.
this might sound a little too on brand for me, but I guarantee you, I'm just gonna, if I did one, it would be about like the history of horror movies or something. It would be like a Cinemassacre type thing. And I would be like, all right, so we're starting with the cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and we'll end sometime in the last year or so. It'll just go through the complete like cycle of horror throughout all the decades. Like that is how it would go, or it would have something to do with like me yelling about Ronald Reagan or something.
Oh, hey, thumbnail.
Thumbnail? Oh, thumbnails.
There you go. It's gonna be me talking about Legend of Zelda. It's like,
There you go.
and I need a link right there. It's
There
like,
you go. As long as I remember to check for that at the end of the video. I mean, do you want to try to talk about things? We've been going for
So
a minute.
yeah, I mean, I feel like the pop thing might take a minute.
Yeah, the
So
pop.
maybe you
I
wanna
can
hold up?
wait. I can wait. But
Okay, let's make
stay
that
stay
like
tuned.
the top of next week's
Yeah,
podcast.
stay tuned, everyone, because I hate to inform you, but the brands are at it again.
Do you want to like give a tease of what you're going to talk
Nope.
about before we go? Okay.
No, I don't. You're
Well,
gonna
that
have to
brings me into my next topic. I want to talk about Nope
Oh,
because I
okay, let's
just
talk
did
about
it
Nope.
while it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah, you
Um,
just saw Nope, which I'm shocked it's still in theaters.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
didn't
even
see
know
it
it was
in
still in
theaters.
Oh,
theaters.
you did?
I paid $20 to buy the HD version of it.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Oh, I might do that tonight.
Yeah, no, it's a really good movie. I seen all of Keel and Peele's movies and I like them. I like them. They're very good horror
Jordan
movies.
Peele.
They have Jordan Peele. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Uh,
You definitely said Key and Peele.
I know. I did.
That's what what are you talking about?
Hold up, I got him behind me. Let me.
Jordan Peele's movies are amazing. He's an amazing director.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
talk about the Sonic franchise. That's what I was thinking of. I can talk about how shitty the Sonic games have been over the course of the couple years, and I can go into detail in each game.
I would love to do a video on that. Actually, we should collab on a video on that. Anyway,
Matt, just a quick question about Nope. If you've said you've seen all of Jordan Peele's stuff, and
Yes.
you know it's 3 movies, so not like a ton.
yeah, you know,
If you had to rank all 3 movies, I'm curious what yours would be as compared to mine. Because I definitely know how I would rank them top to bottom.
Us, Get Out. Yes, Us, Get Out, and then
Nope.
Nope.
And that's Us is your top?
Yep.
Really? Okay, I was
I-
going to go Get Out, Nope, then Us.
Really.
I would put
Really?
Us towards my problem with Us is that, and it's a byproduct of when you watch so many movies as I kind of have to do these shows and stuff.
There's no plot.
The problem with Us is that I saw the twist of it coming in I like 20 minutes into the movie, and I knew what was happening. And I think it did ruin the experience for me. I think I need to watch it again. I think it's gonna be one of those movies that's better on the second watch, much like Nope. I think Nope is gonna be.
Oh,
Nope has
100%.
been
I can
in my
already tell.
head for weeks since I saw it, because I walked out of the theater like maybe this is like an 8 out of 10, I guess. But then it's lingered with me for weeks, and I'm thinking this might be way better than I gave it credit for, and I think I need to watch it again.
I literally sit down and I think sometimes of okay, so I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a certain scene in Nope that I've actually like went back and rewatched it on my phone. I'm gonna have to I don't want to rent it again. That's my only problem. I'm gonna spend another $20 to watch it.
I've got his other 2. I'm gonna buy it.
That's the thing. I'm not gonna rent it again. I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna wait until I can buy it.
Yeah.
But there's just one scene in the movie that really stuck with me. And it's just such a really horrifying scene, but a really great scene. And it's like makes me just want to go back and just rewatch it and dissect it. Because also the ending, the reason why Nope is number 3 is I did not like the ending because it didn't make much sense.
Huh, I'm interested.
It made sense, but like it was a really weird transition. If that makes any sense.
Are you
It was
talking
out
like
of it was like out of
the
left
kind
field.
of final
It felt
act
very religious-y.
Religiousy. And
So not just I'm
I'm curious
I'm
about
trying
this.
to say it without getting to spoilers. But there's how angels are projected in like how people view actual angels instead of the men with wings. It was very reminiscent of that. If you watch back I want you to watch it again and like see those images and watch it again. Like, oh my god, yeah, that is true.
We
And that
might have
rings through my
taken
head.
this movie, and this fascinates me because I think me and you might have focused on 2 completely different elements in this movie. I didn't think about religious symbolism
I
in this
didn't-
movie at all. I was so caught up in like the spectacle elements of this film.
That was the only religious thing I've thought about this movie.
Okay.
It was only towards the ending. The biggest takeaway from this movie is how they dealt with the alien. Is that it's less of a this is not a
Aliens?
spoiler. how they dealt with it is that with them, it's less of it's less of a what's that movie?
It's not what you think it is in the
Signs. It's not what
movie.
you think it is,
Yeah.
and that I really liked about it. But
Now, granted, there is a
they dealt
scene.
with it.
There's definitely a scene in this movie where they basically Jordan Peele's basically going, yeah, this isn't Signs and this isn't like Close Encounters or anything like that.
Yes.
But it definitely could be if I wanted to make it, and he does it so great.
So this movie, the only reason I keep like making this because this movie feels very much like Signs to me, in certain aspects to it. It's not Signs in a lot of aspects, but there's mainly because it's a house on the it's an alien movie with a house separated from everywhere else, and you focus on that part of it a lot. And now you're focusing on the mystery because that's the thing of Signs. It was the slow build, the slow mystery into the really dramatic ending. It's the same thing with this movie: slow build, slow mystery into the very dramatic ending. But I like what he did with the aliens. I like what he did with all that stuff. What I really liked was the foreshadowing in the very beginning, and the whole premise of the movie is that you cannot tame a wild animal.
Yeah, that is
I
a
really
huge
like that.
part of it.
I think that was brilliant.
The spectacle elements, the talking about wild animals and stuff, and the parallels with the Steven Yeun's character.
Yes.
I honestly, and this not a spoiler or anything. I genuinely wish Steven Yeun's character had more screen time.
Yeah, me too.
I genuinely do. That's my main complaint with the movie.
I also hate to say this because it's gonna sound
of course, leave them all wanting more, but I was really invested.
This is gonna kind of sound messed up. I kind of wish I saw more of the flashback scene, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I wish I saw more of that. Like,
they do obscure a lot of it, but I think
things.
that's a part of the commentary of the movie, is that it's so focused on what we want. This movie focuses so much on like the stuff we want to see, and I don't think anything in this movie was unintentional, if that makes sense.
So I saw this video. I scrolled back and there's a 6 keeps coming up. There besides the ending half where I shouldn't say anything.
Mark is getting lower and lower in his
before
seat.
things happen, and there is a certain point. There's in a certain form. There is 6 minutes total of you actually seeing the ship.
Yeah.
And there's 6 minutes of the parallels to 6 minutes. 6 minutes 30 seconds of when
you see the other stuff that's going on.
Of the other stuff.
Okay, we might have to do a full spoiler cast on this or something.
Yeah, we really are because
it's such a movie to pick apart.
Yeah.
I will say I would like to ask real quick why Get Out is at the bottom of your list, because that movie to me was like it was like it was one of those phenomenon movies like The Exorcist or Jaws or something when it came out, and it was such a big cultural moment, and I thought the movie paid off.
Get Out's in the middle of my list.
Oh, I thought it was at the bottom.
The bottom of
the
the
list.
Nope,
at the bottom.
bottom of the list.
Oh,
Get Out,
okay, never mind. Okay.
So Us is above Get Out because I liked Us's slow build to the narrative, and then the twist at the end, which I did see coming. It was very, very painful. It was very but I like how they spun it into an overall thing, and I like the to like sorry, my mic sometimes.
No, I'm busy staring at Mark.
So yeah,
I'm here.
We'll end this very soon. Poor Mark is bored. He's like,
I didn't watch the movie. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
We're talking about the other movies now.
Oh, we're talking about. I didn't watch Us, but I watched Get Out. That movie was fucking dope.
Yeah,
all right. Well, then I'll go.
But
over
Get Out
Us
has
very
such a
quickly.
slow build to it too. It's such like like my heart was accelerating during that movie. Like there was a point I watched it at home. I didn't see it in theaters. I was up and I was just pacing. I was just pacing back and forth because I was like, what is happening in this movie?
Get Out is very, 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 very good. Do not get me wrong.
Yeah.
I consider Get Out to be one of the best cinematic masterpieces ever. The reason why it's not ranked as high because I liked Us I liked everything in Us. I liked the concept of it. I liked the doppelganger concept. I liked the 2 kids. them being innocent, so they react with each other very
Mhm.
well.
So
I saw the
using a
twist coming.
transitive property, does that mean you think Us is a cinematic masterpiece and it's the best movie ever made?
No, no, I think generally.
I
So
honestly like
I'm
the.
going about preference. I think generally Us is a better. Not Us. I mean, I think generally Get Out is a better
Oh,
movie.
objective. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see
Yeah,
what you're saying. Objective
yeah,
versus your opinion. Okay, that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
I
I
was
can
just
respect
curious.
that.
I didn't see Us. Everything that I've heard about Us, actually, no, not everything. I knew one guy who doesn't like Us, and it's actually Bradley, because he says there's no plot,
There's no
which I
plot.
completely understand.
There's definitely a
There's a
plot.
plot. There's definitely a
No,
plot.
there's a story. There's not a plot.
The plot is them surviving. It's a horror movie.
Yeah, I think
Has
it
Bradley
has.
never seen a horror movie before?
That's not the plot. You got to understand. Plot is different from story.
I
Plot and
No,
story
understand
are
no,
two
it.
the
different things.
story isn't them surviving. The story is the overall arcing narrative of the
I think I kind of get what he's saying, but that's because the things Jordan Peele's movies are about and what's happening are two very different things. And the things
Yeah.
that are the stories that Jordan Peele's movies are about are very they're never literally like out there. You
So
know, they're not handed to you. You have to really
Yeah.
think about it. Nope, I think is the most audience friendly movie that he's had.
Nope is his least horror movie.
Yeah, it definitely
had-
is. And
it
I
had
think
very
in
intense
interviews he
scenes.
said specifically that this is like his horror movie for people that don't like horror movies.
Yeah, it's not a horror movie.
No,
It's not.
It's really not.
There's very also there were certain scenes that were felt very jump scary, and there was no jump scare to it. And to me, I love that about that. I love when a movie just doesn't immediately go for the jump scare.
Yeah,
It's like it builds
eerie.
the tension for the jump scare, and then it dissipates. And I'm like, ooh, yes. 'Cause
Us
it
is the
gets you up for that.
closest.
It gets you expected for it, and then it doesn't happen. I'm like, oh,
You know, and this harkens back to history of horror type stuff, but Us is very much like the most traditional, like post Psycho post Texas Chainsaw Massacre slasher film.
it's a slasher film. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very much like the slasher. Nope harkens to like the kind of post World War II science fiction creatures, where it was always Attack of the Giant something, or if
Yeah.
it was about this thing or that thing, or
It also felt
or,
very western at times.
there is some elements of that in it. It was or if we're talking like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something like that,
Yeah.
or War of the Worlds. I think it pairs a good parallels to War of the Worlds and stuff like that.
And
No, Get Out is such. I think the reason it is such of the movie, like such an my favorite of history, is because it really can't be compared. It is as close to like an
It's-
original film as it can. I've heard people argue that it's like a possession film, where it's like
it's not.
it's- where it's kind of like Exorcist or Rosemary's Baby or something like that.
I can see that.
I can
can see that
kind of see
parallel.
that, but
But it's not quite there. Is the thing?
it's a psychological horror.
Yeah, and it's really good at that. It's really good at that. Me as a white guy being able to watch that movie, and he does such a great job of not only like creating this great movie for black audiences, but also being able to pull every other race of people into the movie just as well. You know,
Yeah.
The social commentary is interesting on it as well. It's one of my favorite facts of the movie.
it is.
That's the one thing I don't like when people compare it to. It's like, oh, it's a social comedy. It is. It 100% is. But that's not that's not what the takeaway should take away from the movie.
No,
You should take away that in fact it's a solid movie, with a very solid plot and a very solid unraveling of the plot. And the reason why that I liked Us more is because it didn't focus on that. Because sometimes Get Out did feel very much like a social commentary, like if this is what this is. And I love social commentaries. Do not get me wrong. I think it's an amazing movie. I'm not dissing this movie in any aspects. I think this movie I think this definitely should have been his first movie. And
I don't think he could have got. Here's the thing: even though it's Jordan Peele and he's had a long history, like this movie, I guarantee you had a way bigger budget and way more post production than Get Out ever did.
oh no, his newest movie. I'm talking about Get Out, but his newest movie. I would say, is definitely his blockbuster movie.
Oh yeah,
I think this is his blockbuster movie. It had a
feels
huge
like
budget.
it was a summer blockbuster
It
film.
looked amazing.
Um,
In so many aspects, it looked amazing.
I do wonder, like, I wonder what his next movie is going to be like. If it's going to be, are we going even bigger, or is he going to reel it back and tell another smaller story? Because I genuinely enjoy films that reel it in and do something smaller.
I hate to make this comparison though. Real quick. Sorry, not to interrupt you, Johnny.
Mhm.
Can we all agree that he is the new Albert Hitchcock?
I don't think that's the case.
No,
I don't think
because
anybody's the new anybody.
he is sexually abusing people on set.
Okay,
Huh?
fair enough.
Which Hitchcock was kind of known to do, but like, I can see where you get that idea, but I think
Like,
he's something that's something so different. He's got like the directorial style of Hitchcock, but at the same time has got like the writing style of like Sterling in the Twilight Zone, which I think wasn't he on the narrating the new Twilight Zone series?
I think he's in it.
So yeah, I think it's
Coda Johnson.
I wouldn't compare him to pretty much anybody because he's done such a good job at being original.
He's his own unique person.
Yeah,
and
he's done a great job of that. It is interesting though, where I want to know other people's rankings of Jordan Peele's movies.
I will say this: we are going to get a shitty movie from it at some point.
We very well might.
I mean, I hope we don't.
But
I think he makes fantastic stuff. I think Nope was the bottom line closest to a movie that wasn't the best of his. But
No, I do have a problem with Nope, where it feels like there's a good 25 minutes in this movie that could kind of be cut up and shortened down maybe a little bit. That is a complaint I did have coming out of the theater, where I'm like, it's decent. And this is the problem I have with every movie. Every movie is 45 minutes too long.
So this is a bit of a spoiler, but not as much, because I'm not going to describe you what was happening prior to the scene. I'm just talking about the scene alone. Can we talk about the Akira bike slide?
I'm so happy every movie does an Akira bike slide. Every movie does it. I'm so happy.
So good. It was so happy. Oh, also, the fun fact about that, for people who don't know,
they even
he was
foreshadowed
approached
that
to
earlier
direct
in the movie.
the new Akira movie that was that they're trying to release, and he said no. And his reasoning was because he wants to go a different direction, and he feels like he would disappoint.
Yeah, I think if we get a bad movie out of Jordan Peele, it's gonna be something where it's like, he directed this, he didn't write it. He's clearly a very good writer. Or it will go into like the super, like, it'll go kind of in like
he would have very little say in the movie. It'd be a very producer heavy movie.
Or it'd be one of those movies where it's like he is so far he tells something that's so like out there and so
out there that's like it's kind of hard on
that,
because like Nope almost got to that point.
Yeah.
It was so out there. It was kind of at times it's like
but it never jumped the shark for me. I think it would take at a certain point that might happen, but right now, I think he's doing fine. I hope he keeps making movies. I've loved Jordan Peele since like Key and Peele and stuff like that.
Yeah, I loved him in Key and Peele. I thought he would. See, that's what I like about him now, is because I thought he would be just a comedy writer all of his life. No, but he's very good at making very intense shit. Like there's something, and that makes you think too.
Yeah,
I think he's very good at making you think.
The fact that I saw this movie about a month ago maybe, and it's just still been up here and it's still been rattling, and I just needed to talk about it, was like,
I just saw it.
Yeah. And again, I get the feeling it's probably going to be up there for a while. I told this to Jake. I'm like, I think this is going to be a movie that's going to be better on the second watch. So when it comes to DVD and Blu-ray, I'm going to pick it up, and I'm probably going to watch it again.
I'm going to be very excited to watch it again to pick out all the subtle clues. I feel like there was a lot of foreshadowing in this movie I just did not pick up on because I didn't know
the twist. The thing that sucks is this is one of those movies that I can't do on Catch a Movie because it's one of those movies that like it's not a good movie for that show because you have to kind of pay attention, and also like there's so much going on. Like us making jokes over the movie is such like it doesn't fit tonality wise.
Here's the thing, Johnny. I don't think this would be a good Catch a Movie. I think this would be a good commentary afterwards. A commentary on the movie. If you ever want to do those, like hey, we saw
Like a
this
more
movie.
serious commentary about
Like a
movie.
more
Yeah,
serious
maybe.
commentary, like hey, we saw this movie. We're gonna fucking talk about what we thought about this movie.
See, that is a lot of what Catch Movie is, but everything I say is so out there and ridiculous that it's a
But
problem.
it was like it's more like a podcast, like an afterwards. Like if you ever want to
Yeah.
do that, let me know. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you
Oh
should.
no, if
I'm
you want
just
to do like a
saying-
spoiler cast for it, I'll do it.
yeah, I mean, I'm totally down for a spoiler cast for like a movie like this. Like
Okay.
I think like
We'll
this is
talk about this after.
yeah. Hey, Mark, I
Uh,
really, even if you don't join us in the spoiler cast, I think you need to watch this movie.
I think you'll like
Yes.
Nope. I do
I'll
genuinely
watch it.
think you'll like Nope.
And if you
Holy
don't
shit.
care for horror movies, it's a solid movie. There's
Oh,
only
what's up with fucking, people in power and just fucking women without them saying yes?
What happened? Why did you
I was reading up on-
Twitter?
No, I was reading Alfred Hitchcock stuff.
Oh yeah, that was a problem.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then his wife was like, I don't know what is wrong with him. Like, bitch, you were brainwashed.
Yeah.
You were brainwashed. You were part of the Hitchcock cult. The Hitch
All
cult.
right. Well, I think we should probably end it soon.
Hey, on a lighter note pertaining to what Mark said, I think R. Kelly got sentenced today.
Oh, he did. I saw that
Good.
today. I saw that today.
Good.
He got sentenced to do the child pornography, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I mean, he peed on his
And no, I'm not.
kid.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
I'm not
ahead
saying-
and
I just
make
didn't- I
a
just don't think-
note to bleep that
I just didn't
out.
think that was okay.
We
He-
cannot say those words.
Why not?
Sorry,
YouTube
Johnny.
will get big mad at us.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
yeah,
Say what I
fucking-
said out.
he got-
Sorry.
he-
Listen, I've said a lot
What
of
do you- what do you
terrible
want from
things.
me?
There are just a set key list of words that they get really, really mad about.
All right. Well, he did. What do you want from me?
Can I? Yeah, he did. Can I end the podcast? My quick rant about Overwatch 2.
Feel free. I gotta type this.
All right, cool.
While
While you're
you're
typing,
segue.
Overwatch, I'm mad about it
Overwatch
because
2.
I'm happy and mad because they recently announced there was a leak about Overwatch 2 because the new hero is not free. It is part of the battle pass. You can get it for free if you play a lot of Overwatch 2, or you can pay $10 to get the character right away. And everybody's bitching about it because they never played a game like Valorant that does that exact thing. And like what upset me, I'm like, yeah, cool, Overwatch 2. I'm like, yeah, cool. You can't play the heroes right away. You got to pay the battle pass to get the heroes. But that is literally every other game to existence. Free to play game. You're not going to get the heroes right away. Understand a comp and countering stuff like that. You can still counter because you still get the base roster. You're just not getting new heroes right away. I'm sorry. I just need to really rant about that because it's calmed down people because the internet blew up because like Overwatch 2 is releasing. And everybody got upset, like, oh, I can't get the character right away. Overwatch, we released the character right away. Overwatch released the character right away because it's a $20 game to fucking buy. Right now it's free to play, so they're going to get some
now
kind
it's
of
free to play.
now it's free to play. Now you're going to get some kind
didn't
of
know that.
some kind of difference. So the characters are now going to be locked behind a battle pass. You can either play to get enough money to win in the battle pass and get the battle pass for free, or you can pay the $10 and get the new character right away. It is what it is. Valorant
Yeah,
is the
it's
same
it's
thing.
it's the
It's like
it's the Valorant.
every-
It's just the
Yeah.
trade off of the game being free to play.
It's every free to play game montage ever, or every
Yeah.
free to play game. It's okay. I understand it sucks that you can't counter right away, or
Now,
like maybe like
That
character like Junker Queen. Sorry, go ahead, Johnny.
that being said, would I much rather just pay $20 for the game and that be it? Yeah.
Get all the characters. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
fair.
I much rather have done that or paid $60 or whatever, and yeah, that's fine. But this is the route they've chosen. This is the route of shooters now.
This is the route they've chosen. This is the route. I'm not against it. Like I get it. Like I'm upset. I'm not upset I have to pay another $60. I've already paid 40, so I get 2 battle passes.
Yeah,
But-
overall, you're probably gonna spend more money on this game than you ever
I
did
spend
on
more.
Overwatch.
I have not spent more money in this game than Valorant, though. I promise you that.
Yeah.
I've unfortunately spent more money in Valorant than any other game ever existed. That's not true, but mainly.
No, are you sure? Have you like checked it?
I spend.
Can you check it like
almost-
you do Valorant?
I won't
'Cause
put.
Genshin is I spent $1,000 in Genshin.
What
Yeah.
the
I spend,
fuck?
Overwatch. I know. Don't talk about it.
No, here's the thing. I won't put you on blast because I won't say his name. But we have a mutual
A
friend,
friend that's spent way more than that.
who spent. Let's. I
Is he still playing Genshin? Or I'm sorry, are they still playing Genshin?
I assume. I assume they are because. They spent what I would assume is a used Honda Civic worth of money on Genshin.
That's how much
Impact.
I've spent on Valorant.
Like that is he has spent, and I it brings him joy. I'm not gonna
No,
complain.
not a used. I think a like new Honda Civic.
Like new
99.
Honda Civic.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know how much they spent. I've spent about a used Honda Civic on Valorant. I think they've spent like a like new.
I'm imagining it's like Mark driving up to the head of Riot Games with a like new Honda Civic and parking it there and being like, "All right, give me Genshin Pass stuff or coins or whatever that game uses.
Give
right,
me
guys.
my battle pass.
Give him this.
Give me my
Give him his
privilege.
waifus."
All
Give
right,
me my
guys.
skins.
I think it's now time. I think it's about time. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Please stick around for our 15 minutes of us talking about our
Don't
our
spoil it.
Ford
It's gonna happen. They're
commercial.
gonna see it. It's so much better if
Yeah.
you just don't mention it.
All right, I won't mention it then. Then cut this part. Are you joining me in the Hat Club, Mark?
Hold up. I gotta do the
Nerd.
thing. I have to do this. I have a headband. We all have headwear. Hold up.
I have to have a.
Let me
That was on purpose.
let me do the thing Mark hates.
It's dumb. I don't hate it. It's just dumb. I have to have a country song ready. Cause I'm a trucker.
Mark, you look like you're about to sell me a tractor.
Yeah. Look
Matt-
at a good one too, because your thing says nerd.
Matt, you look like
Do
you're
you
about
know
to
what
buy
it
the
feels
tractor.
like to fuck your sister on a Saturday morning?
Well, I would love to fuck my sister on a Saturday morning.
Cause that's what it feels like to drive a Jeep Ranger.
That's what it feels like. Right, John Duriel tractor.
How it feels to drive a Jeep Wrangler. It's just all the 5 gum ads.
Just all of them.
You ever wake up and smell the perfume, realize that's your sister's perfume, and then you walk outside and you mow your lawn? That's what it's like to drive a Ford F-150.
You ever wake up?
Matt,
and
I
you
will
smell
go ahead
the
and
piss
give.
of a sunshine morning with the blood-stained sheets of your virgin cousin? Because that's what it feels like to drive an F1 Ranger.
Matt, I will say we cannot see your eyes at all.
It adds to the mystique.
I know it does. You ever wake up and just walk outside and have your big beer cans next to your you ever drive around shirtless for no reason in the hot grueling sun? That's what it's like to drive, and yet you still have a farmer's tan on, even though you're shirtless 99% of the time. That's what it's like to drive.
I just love it.
drive a
It just keeps going so personal. just every other line, the narrator of the commercial just gets more and more personal.
Have you ever been sexually assaulted by a chicken? You may be entitled to financial compensation. That's how it feels to drive a new Ford F-100.
You ever just sometimes question yourself whether you want to fuck that cow? That's what it's like to drive the new Ford F-150. Moo.
Do you ever get sad because you remember how your uncle touched you at night when you didn't want it? Because that's what it feels to drive an F-150.
Have you ever been shocked
You
at
ever
your
been-
own capacity to lay an egg? Well, that's how it feels to drive the new Jeep Wrangler.
Oh man.
You ever been day drunk at your nephew's bar mitzvah? Wait, a bar mitzvah.
L'chaim.
I think it actually got personal for Matt there.
You ever been day drunk at your niece's battle royale recital, and your sister wife comes and gives you another cold more beer? That's what it's like. It's what it's like to drive the new Hummer.
Have you ever been ostracized by your local community for being a farmer, a Catholic, and a Jew all in the same setting? That's how it feels to be a part of a Ford F-100.
Do you know what it
those
feels
little
like to go on the deep web to find the alcoholic or the anarchist cookbook to burn down your local town because they ostracize you for being a Christian, a Jew and a farmer at the same time?
I was going off of Matt's thing because it was like sister wives at a bar mitzvah.
Yeah, and I was going off yours.
Oh, there we go.
You ever just not know what's going on? That's why it's called the Internet Down Podcast. Hey guys,
Have you ever been not paying attention to your other co-host bit so that you can think of your own funny thing to say?
All three of us are doing that. All three of us. That's the best part.
At least I have the thing to put at the end of the episode today.
It's us like talk. We would be a great.
Oh man.
We should start an improv troupe.